Every creation, as we all know, should have a meaning. And now it's my honor to welcome to the stage Managing Partner of Ghaf Capital, Sheikh Almualla bin Ahmed Almualla, who will share his vision on a path to a meaningful metaverse. Please welcome.
Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank you all guys for coming here today, because without you, we'll not be able to have this wonderful event. And would like to thank the team, Joel Lee, and your team for making it happen. So since this is MetaWeek, I wanted to talk about the Metaverse. The Metaverse has been a buzzword in the last year and even this year. So this is what we are going to talk about. I do see a lot of familiar faces from yesterday at the dinner that we co-hosted with Ghaf Capital. So I'd like to first give you a little bit of a background about Ghaf Capital and what we do. Ghaf Capital is a Dubai-based and homegrown investment firm that focuses on the investment in blockchain solutions and cryptocurrencies. We like to differentiate ourselves in a way where we consider ourselves an extended team of any project we invest in, where we can add a lot of value through our network and experience in a way that other investment firms would usually just throw money and see what happens. Through the past year as an investment firm, we've seen a lot of different trends, and one of them is the Metaverse. If you look at the Google analytics of the top searches of last year, in October 2021, the Metaverse term peaked. And since it peaked, we've seen a lot of startups and a lot of people trying to get around and acquire a position in that world. So what is the Metaverse? Usually described as a 3D environment where people would socialize and interact. Or in another way, a virtual existence where we as individuals exist or an extension of ourselves exists. We do see that that is a term, however, there are a lot of other ways to look at it. We can look at the Metaverse as our what have already existed in the past. Our thoughts captured on emails, our identity on platforms such as Facebook, and which now changed to Meta, and our daily lives on Snapchat and Instagram. A lot of us value those the virtual presence we have, and other people value it as well. People might perceive you depending on the content you share online, the content you share virtually. People might treat you differently depending on the number of followers you might have. The point I'm trying to make is the virtual world has already existed, and we have all been a part of it. Just to see the value, I would like to ask the audience, who here would be willing to delete their whole social media account right now for $1,000? Would you raise your hand? If you're raising your hand, you should come on stage and do it now. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is we do value our social presence already. Another form that some of you might be familiar with is role-playing games. There has been a lot of games that people would impersonate a character and spend thousands of hours online. A game like World of Warcraft, for example, which has had over 100 million players over its life, and still to this day, 5 million active players. Those people would spend hours behind a screen impersonating a character for a couple of reasons. First of all, entertainment. People enjoy different games and spend their free time in it. But what are the main reasons behind that? First of all, the ability to interact and express yourself without being judged. People are behind screens, expressing themselves, interacting with people without being judged about their background, their color, their education level, their religion. Another form is another way we look at it as the social. Every human wants a social interaction, wants to feel as a part of a group, a part of a community. And that's where those games come into play. So how are those different from the metaverse? In my opinion, those are all forms of a metaverse already that has existed. But there are a couple of key differences that we can consider. First of all, ownership. Ownership of your identity, ownership of the value in the virtual world, ownership of your accounts, your assets. This is only now possible because of the blockchain technology, a trustless decentralized system where you can ensure that the information stored safely away from a middleman which can interfere with your progress. So in case you have built something special, you can be sure that it will always remain yours. Another thing I think is very important for us to reach a point where the metaverse matters is immersiveness. In the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of technological improvements regarding the metaverse, regarding your senses, sorry. So it's very important for you to be able to feel your senses in the virtual world. Can you see, smell, hear, taste, and touch the virtual world? There has been a lot of technologies like virtual reality headsets and improvements in surround sound systems which can make you feel presence at the moment in the virtual world. But we are still a little bit far from it because our mind is a very strong computer which can see and feel the difference between the real and the virtual world easily. Until we can reach a point where our the technology fits the real world, it's going to take some time. And another element I want to add is time. What do I mean by time? Time to experiment, time to test different things in the metaverse. I would like to give you an example that we all lived. In the past 2 years, we've all seen the transformation from physical meetings to virtual meetings in a matter of weeks. People thought for years that virtual meetings are unproductive, are very slow, that can cause a lot of delays in a project. And in the most world, it was like left behind until we were forced to use it. And nowadays, we can see that a lot of the meetings, a lot of the productivity is happening in virtual conferences because it saves a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of commuting time, you can connect people from all over the world without the need of you to be there physically. Considering those 3 points, I think we are moving toward a metaverse. What do I mean by a metaverse? It's a place where we would value our virtual presence as much as the digital presence. Most of us probably are not there yet. However, if we do look at the younger generations, the kids who are born now spend all their day in front of a screen. Sometimes even they would go as far as to steal their parents' credit cards to buy a virtual asset in a game, which they think is valuable more than most of us do. And considering that, I do see us progressing day by day to where we are going to reach a point where we all, like all the generations around us, value the virtual world more than the physical. And thank you all for your time.